Well, I appreciate everybody taking the time. I'm going to go briefly through just an introduction to Square. Like I was saying, most of you already know who we are and what we do, but a lot of the sellers that we talk to, they really associate us only as a point of sale and payments provider. But a lot of things that we do, we offer a lot more than that as a cohesive solution. And some of the things that we really talk to in terms of a value prop are sitting here on the screen. And it really is what makes us unique as a platform and not just a point of sale. So when we say we're an end-to-end solution, we cover a lot of different channels. So we have not only retail point of sale, restaurants point of sale, but we also have invoices, installments, similar to what Affirm offers. We are the hardware, the software, and the merchant of record all wrapped into one, which is something that a lot of the sellers that we work with really resonate with, because they are either managing, 3 or 4 different systems, and we're able to come to them and be a single payment partner instead of, authorize.net plus a merchant plus, Lightspeed in store plus Shopify online. We're able to do all of that. In terms of the data that we're able to offer, we have a lot of data on, and we'll get to this a little later on in the presentation, but customer data, sales data, we can get really granular there, and it's a lot of rich data per transaction that our sellers are able to take actionable insights that they're able to take action on. PCI compliance and security is really important for some of the mid-market, or most of the mid-market and enterprise sellers that we work with, because they have to go through the hassle of just confirming that they are compliant every year, whether that be through hiring an ASV, whether that be completing the SAQ or figuring out what SAQ that they have to fill out. We sponsor the PCI compliance for all of our sellers as the merchant of record on an annual basis for free. They don't have to do anything. And then beyond payments, like in terms of what we offer outside of the hardware and the processing, from a software as a service standpoint, we offer employee management, which allows people to clock in, clock out, track employee time, et cetera. We'll get to that later. Our CRM for our customers, you can communicate with them, and we'll get to that a little later too. Marketing, sending emails, loyalty, understanding how often your customers are coming, inventory management, so you can manage everything, your items. Capital and payroll. And we'll get to most of this later on. So as a platform, we take a really unique approach, as I mentioned earlier, to what our customers are, what they really need, right? Or at least what we think they really need. And our platform, these numbers here are just tell the story of how we're doing that. So through Square, and this slide will be updated next time, but through Square, we process about $80–85 billion worth of payments through Square. And as a merchant of record, I think we're the 6th, 7th, 8th largest seller. So we're able to kind of use that to understand how payments work, how some of our sellers are processing payments, et cetera. We see a lot of card data. We understand, like from a security standpoint, as I mentioned on the previous slide, we understand, okay, who's a good actor versus bad actor. We'll get in there a little later, but we're leveraging all the payment data through Square to improve our technology and make it good for our customers. And so this is something that I really love. I love this slide. The data that we're using and the data that's coming through Square saved one of our sellers $230,000 plus per year by just simply switching to Square. We call I guess one of the value props managed payments, managing all aspects of the payment, PCI compliance, fraud management, security, disputes resolution, et cetera. This seller was just kind of letting chargebacks happen, and they saw it as a cost of doing business. But when we approached them and told them, hey, we can save you X number of dollars off the top by helping you maintain compliance, not charging you refund fees, saving you on chargeback fees, and then taking on the disputes process for you, you can save this amount of money. Oh, and by the way, we're offering you a competitive rate. They were more than happy to move on to Square, and right now they're one of our largest customers.
Yeah, so for everybody too, sorry, Austin. For everybody too, this is something a good call out because I think we get stuck from a sales perspective and from a support perspective on, okay, what's the lowest rate? What's the lowest rate we can get you? But I think a lot of times we forget that there's a lot more factors that go into the payment processing. So it's not only just the rate, but it's, hey, do they cover PCI compliance? Do they give you that chargeback insurance, you know, like you are here? So how much money can you actually save over it? And so the rate is just one piece of that. And for you guys, you highlight that really well on all the other features that come with Square to not only save you on the rate, but to save you on all the other factors that go through payment. So good call out there.
So moving into the space that we really pioneered, our system is extremely simple to use. I'm sure most of the people on the line have either interacted with it or maybe you're even one of our merchants. But it's super simple. It's like unboxing an iPhone. I talked to someone yesterday on the phone who was very upset and flustered with the system because she just couldn't figure it out. And I was like, look, it's so simple that it makes you feel stupid because it does all the things that you need it to do. You just have to kind of play with it a little bit. And after about 5-10 minutes of playing with it, she's like, oh, wow, I can't believe it does this. I can't believe it does that. One of the really cool things about our system is, that we don't have, or just the simple point of sale, I should say, there are no monthly fees. There are no hidden fees. We charge a flat rate. So that applies to all card types, right? So you have Amex, Visa, MasterCard, rewards cards, whatever it is, that flat rate is going to persist across all of those card brands, which is something that really resonates with our customers because a lot of them are paying interchange. A lot of them are paying, monthly fees for software and hardware and all this other stuff. And we're able to come to them with something that's simple, a system that allows them to run their business that's really intuitive and really is much easier to set up and get going. So in terms of data, insights, and management tools, a lot of our customers, and when I do demos, this is one of the things that I really like to show them is how granular you can get on reporting. So at some point, we'd love to take you through a demo, but you're able to really, if you see those drop downs up top, you can filter by date, month, year, week, whatever it is. Additionally, you can go into custom time. So if I want to see how many sales I did between the hours of 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. in March of 2019 to see if my locations are busy at one specific location by device, I can do that. And then if you look on the left-hand side, that's just the sales summary. You can also see item sales. So maybe one is underperforming. Maybe you want to put that on discount just to get it out the door. See what categories are performing the best. If you have employee management, you're able to see who labor versus sales, who's selling the most. If you're running some sort of spiff or some sort of contest in store, these are all things that you can take action on and make informed business decisions.
Yeah, Austin, and I imagine that employers will also use kind of these analytics, especially around the employees, of how to staff the store too, so they can know that these are our peak times. This is when we're selling the most, so we can kind of use that data and also go right back to deciding what's the appropriate staffing amount and that kind of thing, right?
Exactly. So this is just an overview of everything that we basically went over, but just all in one place. So in terms of pricing, 2.75 is typically where we start, but custom pricing for sellers over 250K per year in annual credit card volume, we're going to be extremely flexible with that card present rate. So just to recap, PCI level 1 compliance, big value prop for us. EMV chip compliance, a lot of people are still swiping cards that have a chip in it, and they are not following the 2015 mandate of being compliant with EMV. So in the event of a chargeback, they have no protection. So something that we offer is, hey, let's just get you a cheap chip reader so that you can accept these payments securely, and you don't have to worry about it because you're covered under our PCI compliance. End-to-end encryption, so no data ever really touches the merchant themselves. We cover that from point of sale to virtual terminal to invoices to online sales. Everything's encrypted securely, sent to our servers. Square being the merchant of record. Fraud prevention, which is one of my favorite things. I could talk hours about that, but it's really robust. And from a first party perspective, I believe it is the best solution for any seller that is worried about fraud. from a prevention, detection, and mitigation standpoint. If we ever do or see a chargeback, we take that on for you and resolve that on your behalf. You don't have to do anything. You just upload documentation to your Square online dashboard, and we take it from there. We have a whole team of people that are dedicated to doing that. In terms of refunds, we don't keep your processing fee. We give you everything back so you're not dipping into your pockets in case you have a refund. And with retailers, we know that there's a lot of refunds that happen, and that's just industry, right? It's not, you're not going to run into a clothing retailer that has less than 10% refunds. So we're not going to penalize the customer for that. Offline mode with zero downtime. If you're taking remote payments, maybe at a Tough Mudder or something in the middle of Montana for 48 hours, you're able to still use Square Point of Sale as long as you go into an area with Wi-Fi before the 72-hour period that we allow is up. And then all those payments go through. And then no long-term contracts. We make them sign the terms of service. But that's it. If you don't like it, all right, fine. See you later. You can leave. We're not going to lock you in like some of the other providers will do. And the no hidden fees is also a big selling point as well.